All right, good evening. I am Pastor Sandara Williams, and I am also a life coach. And I decided that I would come Facebook Live for the entire month of April to talk about self-care. And the reason for this is basically because of what we're going through with this COVID-19. Many are feeling, more stressed and anxiety. And so I decided that I would come Facebook Live for these 30 days to talk about self-care. Now, some of you have been here every night. Some of you have not been here every night, but I want to do a recap of what we have talked about. So I have talked about physical self-care, emotional self-care, mental self-care. We had a guest speaker, Dr. Barry Daly, and I talked about psychological self-care. I talked about spiritual self-care, and I also talked about relational self-care. So those are the 6 areas that we have covered thus far as it relates to self-care. Also, for 4 of those nights, I have given acronyms. And the first one was CALM. And that stood for the stood for clarity, the A for attention, the L for love, the M for memories or moments. And then the second one was REAL. The R was for relax, the E was for energy, A for action, L for learn. And then flow. The F for follow, the L for lessons, the O for obey, the W for worship. And last night I did reset. The R for release, the E for experience, the S for space, the E for evaluate, and the T for time. So we have been talking about a broad area of self-care. And tonight is going to be the same. So tonight I want to talk to you about intellectual self-care. Intellectual self-care. What is intellectual self-care? Intellectual self-care is this type of self-care includes you doing something that you enjoy, that nourishes you, and it also challenges your mind. It nourishes you. It can also relax you, but it also challenges your mind. It forces your mind to think. It forces your mind to act. It forces your mind to respond. Intellectual self-care. Intellectual self-care can involve you figuring out what your current talents or your strengths are and developing them further. It can involve you learning how to do something new, something that you've never done before. Intellectual self-care is beneficial because it is dealing with the mind. It is helping your mind to keep working, to keep processing. Intellectual self-care does not allow you to get in a lazy state. It causes your mind to keep working. And we need this in the area of our self-care because we need a balance. All self-care cannot be us relaxing. We need a balance in our self-care. So tonight we're talking about intellectual self-care. The benefits of intellectual self-care is it could possibly keep you on your toes because you are learning something new and different. Now is the time for you, if you've ever wanted to do something and you were afraid to do it, you didn't know how to do it, now is the time to figure out how to do it. Now is the time to ask somebody. If you see somebody doing what it is that you would like to do, now is the time to ask someone. Ask somebody, say, how do you do that? How do I begin doing that? Nowadays, we can't be afraid to ask, but many of us are afraid to ask. And sometimes it's because what has happened to us in the past. Some of us have gotten our feelings hurt. Some of us have gotten, treated some type of way when we ask somebody something. Listen, you got to find somebody that you are comfortable with. And you got to be willing to ask them, say, hey, can you tell me, how did you begin to do that? How did you start doing that? Listen, everybody started somewhere. None of us came to this world knowing everything. Each of us have had to learn from somebody. And we can't act like we know it all, and we cannot be afraid to ask people questions or ask people, throw your ideas around on people. And I know you cannot tell everybody, because you cannot talk to everybody about your visions, your goals, and your dreams, because sometimes those that you talk to will beat you doing it. So you got to be very selective as to who it is that you talk to about your visions, your goals, and your dreams. Now is the time. I have the majority of women on here, and my ministry is really to women. So the few men that are on, please don't get offended by this, but now is the time for women to really pull together and stop working against each other. Now is the time for women to pull together. Pull together to support each other. Pull together to encourage each other. And I know, I get it. I've been there. I've been done any kind of way. I've been talked about. My name has been dragged through the mud. But can I tell you that everybody is not that way? You got to find you some good sisters. You got to find you some good sisters, and you got to find you a safe space. What I'm saying is that you cannot tell. We talked about space last night. You cannot tell everybody your visions, your goals, or your dreams. You got to be real selective. And first of all, really, you need to pray about it before you tell somebody. You need to pray to God about that. You say, God, can I trust this person? As bad as you may want to tell somebody something, they've been in your life all these years, you still need to ask God, can I trust this person with this? Will they be able to handle it? Will they be able to celebrate me rather than get upset with me or get jealous of me? Now is the time for us to really think about that. Now is the time for us to pull together. That's why in this 30 days, I could be coming here and showcasing what? Nobody but me. But no, that's not what I'm doing. I have women who I have invited who have businesses. I have invited them to come in this space, my space, on my social media platform, to talk about what they sell and to talk about their business. Now, everybody's not going to do that. I don't have no problem with that, because I honestly believe that there is enough for everybody. What's yours, can't nobody take it. Even if somebody tried to do it just like you, it will not be the same. Why? Because it's not you. So tonight we're talking about intellectual self-care. Let me give you some examples of intellectual self-care. Doing crossword puzzles or the word searches. When was the last time you actually grabbed one of those and sat down and did it? It causes you to think. Why? Because you are trying to find the words if you're doing the word search. And then if you're doing the puzzle, you're trying to do what? You're trying to figure out the letters. You're trying to figure out the letters. Intellectual self-care. What about learning a new language? You know, they have so many ways for us to learn things now. And they offering all kind of classes online right now. What about learning a new language? Yes, even at your adult age. What about learning a new language so that you could do something else, so that you could be more flexible? What about learning a new language? We're talking tonight about intellectual self-care. What about taking a class? What about taking a class? A class to learn something new, a class to learn a trade. What about taking a class? We're talking about intellectual self-care. What about picking up a trade right now? There are so many things that you could do right now for intellectual self-care to keep your mind moving. Why? Because there is so much going on, and if we allow it to consume us, then we're going to find ourselves in an unhealthy place and space. So tonight we're talking about intellectual self-care. And I want you to think about something that you can do. What about starting a project? Have any of you started on a project? We've been home now for about 3 weeks. What have you been doing? Have you painted a room? Have you grabbed some things that stand up in your house, racks, and change the color on them, change your bathroom, change your room around? In my women's group, I have us doing, this month, I have us decluttering. So we're throwing out things. What have you been doing other than sitting around and watching television or on social media or keeping up with CNN? No. Intellectual self-care. We got to keep our minds active. We got to keep our minds busy. What will you do? What can you do? Yes. Clean out that garage. You could come clean out mine too. I'll pay you. Yes. We got to do something with our time. I am trying to get us to see how imperative self-care is, but it's really imperative for what we are dealing with right now. Are you having headaches? Are you not sleeping at night? You got to find something to do to keep that mind busy. So, intellectual self-care. Learn a new skill. Learn a new skill. It's okay, yes, even at my age, 53, it's okay for me to learn how to do something new. I don't know what that something new is going to be because I have a lot on my plate, but we're not too old. We're never too old to learn. Go back to school. Maybe somebody need one. Go back to school. Go back and finish that degree that you never finished. Go back to school. Yes, right now, go online. Go online. They're doing stuff now. Go online. They're doing stuff on Zoom. That's what I did. I'm in my second unit of clinical pastoral education so that I can be certified as a chaplain. Did I really need to do that? Probably not. But I'm thinking down the line. At this time right now, we must allow our minds to stay active. So we must find something to do other than watch TV, watch social media, play games on our phone. We got to find something to do. So tonight we talked about intellectual self-care. So each night, you know that we go to the chalkboard, well, the whiteboard. And I'm sorry that you cannot read the words because they are backwards when I write on the board. But each night, I give a word. And it's an acronym. And then we break the acronym down. Tonight, our word is care. If somebody can write that in the comments for me. The acronym is care. Care. And the C stands for change. So tonight I want to ask you, what will you change about your self-care? What will you change? For me, my exercise habits. What will you change? What will you change as it relates to your self-care? What will you change? What do you need to change? What will you change? Laughing out loud, saying Turner a lot. Okay, I'm going to write it up here. All right, eating habits. All right, exercise times 2. Exercise times 3. All right, anybody else? What will you change as it relates to your self-care? What will you change? What will you change? That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on, there's a few more of you. What will you change? What will you change? All right, so that's exercise times 4. Eating habits times 2. All right. Stop worrying about people. Amen. Ooh, that's a good one. Online shopping. All right. All right. Communicate more. What will you change about your self-care? Okay. The A in care stands for assertive. 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 What will you be assertive about as it relates to your self-care? Assertive. Mine is my weight loss. I'm going to be more assertive about my weight loss. What are you going to be more assertive about as it relates to your self-care? What are you going to be more assertive about as it relates to your self-care? You got to be assertive about it. You got to believe that you're going to be able to do it. What will you? All right, weight loss times 2. All right. All right. Weight loss times 3. And okay, exercise. All right, weight loss times 4. And studying the Bible. All right, anybody notice that we got for change 4 with exercise habits, and for assertive, we got 4 with weight loss. That's saying something, y'all. That's saying that you got to put that action in place. All right? The R. The R is for rest. What will you do as it relates to self-care for you to get more rest? What will you do? For me, I'm going to go to bed earlier. What will you do? Try to get more sleep. Yep. What will you do? All right, that's times 2. What will you do as it relates to rest? Woo! That's a good one. That's a real good one. We all probably need to do that. We all probably need to do that one. All right, what will you do to assure that for your self-care that you will get more rest? What will you do? Remember, this is you putting your action plan together. All right? All right, that's times 3. All right, that's a real good one. All right. I hope you all are writing these down somewhere on a notepad, the things that you are saying, because you are going to take these things and you are going to Put it in action for yourself. All right? Anybody else on rest? Anybody else? All right. The E is for eager. What will you be eager about? Me, the health of my mindset. All right, clear mind. What will you be eager about? What will you be eager about? This is about your self-care. What will you be? All right. Amen. Resting period. All right. Losing weight. All right. All right. Anybody else? What will you be eager about? So tonight our acronym is CARE. CARE. The C is for change. The A is for assertive. The R is for rest. And the E is for eager. Seeing results of rest. All right. All right. Completing task. Okay. Remember, this is you coming up with your self-care plan to put into action. That's why we laid all these words on this whiteboard. All right? So, I hope that you are writing them down in a journal, on a notepad.